Sweet Bees, it's the Sweetest Vegan here. Today on the show we will be reviewing, if I can get the words out, seedless watermelon versus seeded watermelon. Here we go. So I'm ready to taste these, but first I want to talk about seedless watermelon. This is the traditional watermelon. You know, it's a fruit, it has seeds, it's a melon, it's a part of the melon family. It has a thick outer shell, both of them. First of all, I believe the seeded watermelon, at least mine, had a thicker, harder to cut outer shell than this. This is still hard, but it's thinner. It was thinner to me and it was easier to cut. Some people think that these are genetically modified. Seedless watermelon are not genetically modified, but they are a hybrid food. Some people are even against hybrid food. So if you're against hybrid foods, do not eat seedless watermelon. And if you think it's so weird, I believe seedless grapes are hybrid foods too, so you can't eat those either. When was the last time you had to spit out the seeds of a grape? Like, I have, but not really. No, I don't remember the last time I spit out seeds from grapes. I just don't. So they're seedless too, and these are seedless. What they do is they take pollen from a male watermelon and mix it with a female flower that has, the male pollen has 22 chromosomes and the female flower has 44 chromosomes, and it makes a watermelon with no seeds. It's infertile. It has 33 chromosomes, and maybe it's supposed to have 44, but it doesn't, and it's infertile. Sad watermelon. And if you want scientific information, I'll include a link to a scientific article in the description below, because I really am just repeating what I have read for myself, so you can read it for yourself. So let's taste them. Even though I already have my verdict, I'll taste them just for you and for me, because I really just want to eat watermelon right now. Yo, that's really good. I have seeds all in the top, so that's the problem. It's the inconvenience. So many seeds. So that was one bite. You probably can't see that. I came up with 6 seeds. I don't know why you would care for that much detail, but right off the bat, the seeded watermelon I had in the refrigerator, so it was colder. You can chill both of them just fine, so, you know, whatever. It was juicier. The seeded watermelon was juicier. It had a different texture, a crispier, nicer texture. It was sweeter than the seedless watermelon, even though that seedless watermelon was actually quite good. But it had the seedless watermelon had a firmer texture and it wasn't as juicy. The seeded watermelon had like this watermelon flavor along with the sweetness, but the seedless watermelon it was sweet, but it had less of that down south watermelon flavor. What seedless watermelons are good for are soirees. I'm trying to say soiree and I can't say it. Soirees. What seedless watermelons are good for are soirees and banquets and watermelon salads. Whenever you have like cute cut out watermelon fruits and you want to serve it as something fancy, and you don't want fancy dressed up people in nice gowns dripping watermelon juice all over themselves and spitting out seeds everywhere, seedless watermelons are the way to go. A seeded watermelon won't be so good for that, because when you try to cut out shapes from a seeded watermelon, they have big gaps and holes in them, and they just don't look right. And like I said, the Seedless watermelon is firmer in texture and it's more consistent in texture, where the seeded watermelon, it's not so firm in texture, so it's not going to hold its shape as well, and it's going to have holes in it everywhere, and it's going to have seeds, so people will have to combat the seeds. But if you're just out on a regular, like 4th of July, you're out at a picnic and you want people to have a nice, good, juicy 4th of July watermelon, I would get the seeded watermelon. And maybe for children, people treat children like pansies these days. They don't want them to choke on the seeds. I'm pretty sure I choked on a watermelon seed or two, and I turned out just fine. And like, it's good for you to have a little bit of watermelon seed in your body as a child. Don't take that advice. Do not give seeded watermelon to children just to cover my butt. But they will thank you for it because it'll taste better, and it's fun to spit out the seeds as a child. So if you're having a 4th of July celebration, get a seeded watermelon. If you're having a sit-down fancy dinner, get the seedless watermelon. And another thing I wanted to talk about watermelon was race. I am African American and I live in the South. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. And for 4 years, no I didn't, I went to Michigan for a summer, and then I went back for 2 more years later on in my life. But the first time I went was the first time that I ever heard of the black stereotype. I was 20 years old. That was the first time I had heard of the stereotype about watermelon and black people, about black people and watermelon, kind of like fried chicken. And of course I heard the fried chicken thing before, but down here in the South, I didn't know much about Caucasian people because sadly you don't intermingle that much in the South. At least I didn't growing up. Like, I just didn't. I didn't know much about them, but I knew they ate watermelon. Caucasian, white people, everybody in the South, I guess Hispanic people, everybody probably eats watermelon in the South. But when I went to the Midwest, my grandmother is talking in the background, and I think she's competing with me. Grandma, can you lower your voice? It's just like, forget you, move out of my house. So that was the first time I had ever heard people talk about watermelon being a black thing. And we were in a house, it was about 10 black people, 10 not black people, and they were like, you're gonna buy watermelon, what do you think they're gonna think about you? They're gonna think you're like ignorant or black or ethnic or, you know, whatever thoughts of, you know, stereotypes are. And I was like, I've never heard that before. And I bought the watermelon, and the non-black people ate it too. So I think that stereotype is stupid. So can we stop it? Watermelon isn't a black thing. If anything, it's probably a southern thing. And I think they grow them a lot in California, so a lot of healthy people eat them too. So watermelon is watermelon. Same thing with fried chicken. Even though I'm vegan, like, everybody eats fried chicken, especially here in the South. Maybe it's just a southern thing. People not from the South get confused. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below. I'm interested in this conversation. But like I said before, just to wrap it up, both of the watermelons, I would probably give a 3.5 on my rating scale, because the seeded watermelon with all the seeds in it is so juicy and crisp. It has that watermelon sweetness / flavor, kind of like a strawberry mixed with a cucumber. Is that what watermelon tastes like? I would give it a 3.5. I wouldn't give it a 4. I would give it a 4, but it has those seeds going on, you know? The seeds kind of make it, you know, you get knocked down a peg. I wouldn't choose you all the time, you know? You have to be punished. The seedless watermelon also gets a 3.5 because it puts you in the mind. It's sweet. The good ones are sweet, but it puts you in the mindset of having that strawberry, cucumber, watermelon flavor, but it doesn't get there all the way. It just doesn't go all the way up to the watermelon top. And so I'll give it a 3.5 just because it doesn't have seeds. Like, it lacks some things but has other things. 3.5 watermelon, my score. Bye.